Hi guys, thanks for checking the video out. Steve Buzza here, and this week I'm going to be doing some indoor drills that are going to build upon each other. So if you're in a situation right now where you can't hit golf balls, you can use some drills to help your swing, and more importantly give you a better understanding on how your swing should feel. So without further ado, let's get into lesson one. And we're going to start with the body. So I was very lucky. I had the opportunity to work for David Leadbetter, and he has this phrase which I think comes from his book from like 1990, and that is the dog wags the tail. So what that means is the body is controlling the arms, not the other way around. So it's logical to start with the body. You know, sometimes when we're looking at our swing, we're looking at what our arms are doing. Whereas if we can fix the body move, the arms start to become far more cooperative. So you might have heard of pivot. So pivot is with the body and it's getting this nice movement here. But we need to establish how that should feel for you. So before we get into what it should feel like, let's go with this move. So, and this is kind of more from like a yoga standpoint. If you think, stand nice and tall and just move from side to side. You see, I'm moving everything together. This is actually, by the way, a really good baseline movement for your pitching. But when you're doing this, you're going to feel like there's no resistance between the upper and lower body. So, although it's quite free flowing, it's very hard to create power. So, good one for pitching. We want to actually feel, so when we're turning, we're feeling like we're coiling up. So we're feeling the muscles across our chest are engaging and they're twisting. But this is what we have to be careful of. And sometimes, and you'll see some tour pros, they really fix their legs down and they just turn their upper body. That's going to give you a sensation of actually being really tight, really coiled. But here's the key thing, and this is what I want you to play around with and develop into your own swing, is I want you to feel as much coil as you can physically get that still gives you the sensation of being able to change direction into the downswing. So if we twist so much, and let's say our body's not particularly flexible, and we get into this position and we go, that is pure coil, you know, the separation is as big as I can get, but it feels like, well, if I had to get my arms and change direction, I can't. That's not going to help your downswing, and we need the speed to be in the downswing. So think about it, the backswing is preparing us to be able to do a great downswing. If we make a great looking backswing and it compromises the downswing, obviously that's not going to help our golf. So I want you to feel twisting and move your hips around. So go, well, what does it feel like if I open my hips a little bit more? We should be able to get our backs to the target. So let's say you turn and you can't get your back to the target. Add a bit of hip in there and see what you can create. So coiling is very important, but it has to allow a downswing. So if we watch from here, and this is a great one to do looking into a mirror, when I'm turning back, you see I'm not losing my angles. You know, I should be able to twist and not feel like I've lost my angles. If I get to a point where I'm really twisting and I'm really tight and it makes my hips like pop forward to take away that stretch, you know, your body actually rejects the idea of the stretch. Again, we're going to go, well, let's put a little more hip in. So a question I get a lot is, how much should you go from side to side? You know, how should you feel like you're loading into the right hand side? How should it feel? So one thing we need to establish straight away is there's a difference between weight shift and pressure shift. So they're very much related, but pressure shift, so imagine if I'm here and I just lift my left leg, that gives me a chance to pull all my pressure into my right hand side. Weight shift you tend to see more. So when you're doing this and when you're trying to feel loading into the right hand side, I want you to think more about pressure. So you're going to feel it more than you're going to see it. You know, that's one of the big issues we have with weight transfer, is we're talking about forces, but we're trying to kind of distinguish between good and bad by what we see. So pressure, we're going to go, well, I feel that. I should feel some loading into my right hip. It's going to probably feel more on the inside than the outside, but I'm feeling that move. It doesn't have to see the move. So that's a really good one as well. And if you take home from this video, you see we're listening to our body. We've all got slightly different body types, different mobility, different flexibility. So we want to get into a situation where our body feels good. I promise you, if you get into a position that looks like a tour pro, but your body is screaming at you that it doesn't feel right, the likelihood is your body's not really liking that move. If it's not really designed to be in that position, the likelihood is you're not going to be able to get down into a good downswing, and you're not going to hit the ball better. So lesson 1, we're feeling coil, we don't move back, we play around with the hips. So we should be able to complete the upper body, but we should feel like we can change direction. I'm going to go, tomorrow's video, I'm going to talk far more about how the backswing, the transition and the downswing actually start to interlink. So very much an introductory video, just giving you a chance to feel what it should be like, taking the arms out of the equation. You know, the arms are going to be important, and we'll certainly talk about the arms in a couple lessons time, but to start with, let's start feeling what this body should be doing. We feel coil, we don't just feel pure release, and then we listen to our body, and we might have to find a happy medium. Some people are going to be nearer the pure release, some people are going to be far more in that coiled stage. So have a play around. Know you've got plenty of time on your hands, so stay safe. Get some comments down below. What other videos would you like to see? You know, especially if you're in a situation where you want to improve your golf, you've got plenty of time, but you haven't got any chance to get to the range, or you haven't got any chance to get on the golf course. So get those comments down below, like and subscribe, and I hope to catch you soon.